I've been crazy impressed with some of Billy's numbers, guys. I mean, he's been nailing it. He's doing the things that need to happen. It's been impressive. Let's see, title is extension. Well, this is an unusual, but every single week I go live on the YouTube, but for some reason it's not letting me go live today. It's blocking it. Try one more time here. Okay, there we go.
And we'll go to the other link.
Nope,
Profile.
it's saying this invalid extent. It says it's invalid for some reason. I'll have to fix that, but I can always upload it and share it with you when it's over. All right, so we went over some real fun numbers and today on one of our calls with Billy, and I want to talk about it. We talk about what it takes to grind and get the grind going and get it done and do what needs to happen to get you where you want to go. Billy, I'm going to share this, and whether you like it or not, I hope you're okay with that. But I got to share your metrics, man. If you want to know what it takes, this is what it takes. Big numbers. I'm going to hit this right here just to show the bottom side because I was pretty impressed with our call this morning. You're nailing it. He's hitting over 20 calls, over 20 dials. Billy, tell us how many new listings you picked up, what you've picked up, what's been happening.
So, yeah, so these calls here, I'm making at least 20 calls per day. And it's at least, 80 to I say what is about 100 to 125 calls a week. But I've picked up six listings in the last 6 weeks. A matter of fact, I made a call. I was just telling Sean today that I made a call right now and I actually probably have another listing secured. So I'm sending her the information, but I'm really truly believe it's because of the calls, and I have an accountability partner in Sean, so that's what it is.
Accountability. Well, I appreciate that. I'll take it for a minute. But the system's holding you accountable. I love these metrics
Yes.
because they do help. And we're going to talk about it. So that kind of makes you be like, well, I know Sean's going to hit me on it if we don't. But having an accountability partner, I love that. That's good. It doesn't have to be me. We're talking anybody to say, hey, I need your accountability. This is a true serious problem with all business owners it doesn't matter what business you're in. It's the accountability. You by yourself is hard. It's hard for you to hold you accountable. It's a lot easier to have somebody.
Right.
I've used this. I've said this many times. I went to a bold years ago, and there was a broker out of Bakersfield who told his son, if I hit my numbers this week, I'll take you to ice cream on Friday. His son was like 6. And his son asked him every day, Dad, did you hit your numbers today? Because he wanted it. So his accountability partner was his son, holding him accountable all week long. And it worked. He hit his numbers because he didn't want to disappoint his son. We got to remember our family is who we're going to disappoint too if we have a family. If our family is surviving off of us. If it's you surviving off of you and you have your apartment or bills or housing or whatever it is, you're disappointing yourself. Yeah. There's something that's going to be relying on you doing your job. And your job is lead generation. Your job is not so much closing escrows. Your job is meeting new people, nurturing those relationships. If you don't nurture a certain amount of relationships, you're not going to hit your numbers. We're going to get into some true numbers here in a minute. But I just wanted to share that because I really wanted Billy to talk about the success he's had this week or this last month. He's really done it well. Anything else you want to add, Billy? Oh, you're muted. And by the way, guys,
There we
open
go.
forum. We don't have that big of a group today. I'm actually surprised. For that title I sent out, I thought I'd get a much bigger group. I was expecting 40 on today, but that's okay. Maybe they're having trouble getting in because I think that link, wrong password, my bad. Sorry, everyone. I need to get rid of the password.
I think I think a lot of agents don't do it because of the fear of rejection and they're uncomfortable. But um, I do tell people, I do tell other agents, just do it over and over and over again. And once you get out of that fear, rejection and the uncomfortable. You have to get uncomfortable. Um, I mean, I got hung up on and pretty rudely yesterday about 3 times, and it's okay because you're not those aren't anything personal. It's just you move on to the next one, right? And these calls, it's I will take 5 hangups if I get one listing a week. It's fine. Like it doesn't matter to me because it is a lot of times people not wanting to do it because they're uncomfortable. Or the other thing is they don't know what to say. But just like anything else that if you want to be successful in anything, you have to learn the system and in this case, learn scripts or the formulas of how to approach these calls. So if you're willing to learn, it works. Yeah,
Mhm. Have you figured out your hourly wage if you don't make these calls? Oh
I have not calculated that yet.
my gosh, Billy. I'm gonna hold you accountable. Okay, so six listings, okay, times, let's just say you're gonna make 10 grand off of each listing is $60,000. Six listings in 6 weeks. Okay, that's one listing per week. So in the last 6 weeks, one listing per week. He's made 20 calls a day. How many hours a day are you making those 20 calls a day? He walked away. How many hours? You guys that have been lead generating with Billy, how many hours a day is he making those lead gen calls? Let's just say 2 hours a day, 5 days a week. Okay.
Sounds about right.
Okay. So that's 10, 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, something like that's stupid math. 60. So 60 hours in 6 weeks and to make $60,000, right? $1,000 a month? Is that right? Or I'm sorry, $1,000 an hour?
Yeah, that's right.
So that should be pretty simple math, 60 and 6, or 60,000 to 6. I'm an idiot. $1,000 an hour is Bill. If he does not do his job, he's not going to make $1,000 an hour, but he pretty much made $1,000 an hour. So that's the simple math on you've got to figure out, okay, let's do something even simpler. Let's think about this for a second. Let me get rid of my screen share. Let's do something simple. Now, I've heard this so many times that open houses are a waste of my time. I don't do them. They're a waste of my time. Okay, let's say you did 10 open houses. Okay, 10 open houses. It took you 30 hours to do 10 open houses. 30 hours to do 10 open houses. That's 3 hours each open house, 10 open houses. And you only got one sale off of it. Only one. But your average commission is $10,000. We're just using 10,000 as an easy round number. That's $333 an hour. Can you make that going to work for, oh, flipping burgers? No. $333 an hour, guys. So is it a waste of time to go do open houses?
Nope, I love doing open houses.
Yeah. How about you, Oscar? How many have you converted? Do you know how many you've converted in 2025? How many
At the,
transactions you got off open houses in 2025?
I'd have to say maybe six.
Six transactions. And
Yeah.
you know about how many open houses you did in 2025?
I do a handful. During the winter, it kind of slows down because of the time change now.
Do you do at least
But
one a month?
no, I do at least four a weekend.
For a week? A
A
weekend?
weekend, a weekend.
Holy
Yeah,
mackerel.
yeah.
And,
I'm
and
doing
you
two on Saturday. I'm doing two on Sunday.
and you got
When the
six.
weather's good.
Okay,
Yeah,
and you got six. So
yeah,
four. That's a lot. And then
yeah.
how many months do you say you do for a weekend?
Uh, during the summer,
So maybe
during the
four
summer,
four months a year, maybe?
yeah, yeah. I try to do more. But just in this one incident, I wanted to tell you about last month. I got pretty busy, and just with this one open house that I did for Laura Court, I got the buyer. I got him to sell his home to purchase the home, and then just this last week, I got a listing off of that. So off of one
Nice.
open houses, I got three transactions.
Nice,
Yeah,
man.
yeah,
Congratulations.
yeah. Thanks.
So
But yeah, no, open
I
houses
just figured
work.
out your income.
Okay,
If you don't do those, if you don't, so just think if you were to do them more than just 4 months a year
right.
for a weekend, that's for a weekend. That's almost $1,000 an hour that you
Hmm.
spent doing those.
Hmm. Yeah,
Nine
no,
hundred
there.
$937.50 an hour. That's your income,
Yep.
Oscar. Just think if
Hmm.
you were to do for a week, I mean, that's a lot. That I will say it's a lot. So that's probably maybe 2 hours one, 2 hours again, and then you might go to Sunday and do two on Sunday. Or
Yeah,
yeah, okay,
yeah,
2 hours a piece. So
yeah,
the hourly wage is a little different, but still, yeah, it actually might be higher now that I'm thinking it's only 2 hours. I'm
yeah.
figuring it with 3 hours per open house. So 900. So yeah, your value is there. If you guys think that I'm gonna go do an open house this weekend, and I get none, does that mean next weekend I'm not gonna do I don't go back to work? No, you gotta go back to work. Change up your script a little bit.
Hmm.
My open houses are like this. They come in, I never say go look around. I walk them around the house, and my goal in an open house is to end at my computer. I already have the MLS open. My goal is to end there to show them what else is available. So I walk them around. I'm getting to know them. I'm talking about their family and talking about, oh yeah, what have you guys seen in the market? Have you guys seen any others? Anything competing to this? Getting to know them a little bit. And then I go, well, what is it? What is it would be the perfect home for you? What is it you need in a house? All right. And then I walk them to the computer. I don't even give them a chance. And we end up my computer with me setting them up on an auto prospect. And I'll just sit there and I don't even need a sign-in sheet. I just sign them all up in auto prospects right there. I get their name and email address and I start sending them listings. Here, let me send you this. And what's your email address? What's your phone number too? And I type it in there. And now, so my MLS is actually another CRM. I've always said that. It's another total CRM. I have hundreds and hundreds of leads sitting in my MLS. I was worried when the years ago when they switched MLSs. I was worried I was gonna might lose all those people, but unfortunately they all transferred. But that's just literally that's my way of doing it. Everyone has their system to do an open house. What's yours, Oscar? What's your system?
Usually I introduce myself. I let them know the specifics about the home, and then they usually look at the home, and then once after that, then I start asking the questions. I'm really not pushy up front, asking them, "Are you working with somebody?" Uh, all that stuff. I usually ask the questions once they've settled in, they're comfortable. I don't want to have that used car salesman tactic where you're just uh, shoving information down their throat. Try to
Yeah.
make it personable as much as possible.
Yeah, and very personable, right? You're not
Yes,
salesy. You're not trying to sell them on something. You're trying to you get to know them. Spend some time
yes,
with them, get to know
yeah,
them. Got it,
and
got it.
also ask open-ended questions like what they're looking for, what type of home is this actually a perfect fit.
Mm,
If not, I let them know, hey, this is not the only house that I work at. I can tailor a home for you that you're going to like.
mm, that's good. I like that. Anyone else have anything you want to bring up? Talk about what your way of doing things is it any different than Oscar's?
So I'm like a hybrid of you and Oscar. I'll have
Okay.
them come in. I don't even worry, just because the stats are, right? Like only
Mm,
9% actually are going to buy that house. So chances are they aren't. So it's
yeah.
finding out what they do need. And I'll do a lot of just open-ended questions of what they've seen, what are they looking for. And then lately I've been kind of living in this 6,000 square foot. So I do kind of let them go. I highlight things and then I'll come find them a little bit later. But meanwhile, I now know what they're looking for and that this house probably won't work for them. And so now I've pulled up on the MLS stuff that probably would. I go find them, give them, need some water. And hey, before you leave, I just pulled up a bunch of other houses. If this one doesn't work, come see me before you leave. Like, and I'll put a list together for you. So I've created something of value they want. So they come, see me. I mean, they have to see me to leave anyways, but
Yeah.
I've done really, really well with that, giving them a list of some houses to go drive around and then set an appointment to meet with them after. Most of the time, right after, like, hey, why don't we meet at Starbucks? I'm done here. I can meet you there around 4:15. You could go drive and see what you think about these. I've done really quite well with that. And
Mm.
now my open houses, even though they're only a couple hours, I'm not getting home until 2 hours later.
Whoa. Yeah, because you turned into whoever you came in there just became your best friend. You guys are now good friends and
Right.
hanging out,
Right.
having coffee together, and yeah. We did a call on our team the other day, and I said, "Okay, guys, we're going to make some live calls." And this is in Idaho, and we sat there, started dialing right out of our database. And I said, "Look how simple it is. I can click this button, I can see people that were on our database. There's like 15, 16,000 leads in there. And out of those, you can see the ones that are on our database. I think we had 30 or 40. No, maybe not that many. Maybe like 20 or so that were on there within the last 12 hours. So I said, let's start making dials. So my partner Tony started making some dials. He's like, all right, I got to do better because I hadn't done this in a while. So then we pulled up the script, we practiced the script, and then he made his dials and he was better. And then Karen Brown on our team started decided, all right, I'm ready. And she hated it. She did not want to play this game. And that's pretty common. Getting uncomfortable, right? I don't want to do it in front of you guys. I'm not good. That's always the excuse. I'm not good doing it in front of you. I'm only saying this because Nikki brought up, how she doesn't get home till late once she starts because it's a relationship based business. So next thing you know it, we get her to make one call. She makes the call. The lady answers the phone. We had to people had to start leaving the meeting. She was talking to this person so long, had such a long conversation that when everybody left except for me because everyone had to go. It literally was an hour long conversation, but we were learning so much, actually recorded part of it. She did such a good job. She did asked all the right questions, and I'm like, why are you so nervous about making a dial in front of us? You just taught so many people so many things on what to say. You did such a good job. But I told her next time that happens and you connect, we're gonna have a place for you to go sit down and finish your conversation so we can continue our sales meeting or our team meeting. It was so good. The connections will do that. It'll last a long time. My suggestion is, though, what I suggested to her is get that once you've connected with them, is say, hey, I have to call a few more people real quick. Can I call you back and at this time and I have some options for you. And because try to keep your dials when you're dialing, specifically SOI, try to keep them to 10 minutes. Or you're never going to get through your 20 touches a day or 10 touches a day or 5 touches a day. You're just not going to get it. They're going to end up talking. So we got to make sure you're getting those touches in. But when you connect with one, spend a little extra time with them and then move over, try to reschedule a time to talk to them so you can get to your next one and next one. But make that connection first. Love the connection. So good. Thank you, Nikki. Let's talk about some numbers about your most important bucket. We talked about buckets last week and how you have all these buckets, and these buckets are your different lead sources. And you've got to perfect each bucket. You can't just quit if, like Billy said, you got to get uncomfortable. Like Oscar said, you got to get uncomfortable. Get yourself uncomfortable and perfect the bucket. If you're not letting yourself get to that point to get over that uncomfortable and you're quitting and just saying, I just don't like it, you never gave yourself a chance. You gotta push yourself that far. Get crazy uncomfortable. So let's talk about the simple one. I've had so many coaching clients too say, I don't want to call my SOI because I don't want to bug my people. If you're bugging your people, you're too salesy. Your people want to hear from you. This is a business of relationships. You got to call your SOI. That's got to be one of your most important buckets. And this could be your past sales that you did. It's your obligation to check in on that house. See how it's going so far. Go back to the Ninja Selling book, such a great book. Go back to the importance in Ninja Selling of following up after they close escrow with a certain amount of touches per month until throughout the year, and you just continue that happening. Let's do an SOI referral database member receives 100 annual touches. Now, I'm going to tell you, a lot of these aren't you actually calling or texting or anything. Some of them are just simple emails from your system. Some of them are happy birthdays or happy anniversary on your closing. Those are auto touches that go out in your CRM. Happy birthday, happy anniversary on your closing. I have my people all set up that happens. That's a touch. So some of those you're not doing. Okay. Um, that comes out to 30,000 total touches with a database of 300 people. And the reason why I'm using 300 is one, it's in the book, but number two, Remember that when you go to a wedding, how many people typically get invited to a normal wedding? I will say mine was in my living room and it was just my family. But and that was not normal wedding. It's typically about 200 because the wife or the bride and the groom, 100 people apiece. That's 200 people. All right, so let's just say we're going to use 300 though, because you've worked your butt off and you've been building that SOI. That's a 30,000 touches. Now, if you use the 7-to-1 ratio, I also say if you're brand new in the business, it might be 10-to-1, 7-to-1 ratio. That is, let's see, 300 divided by, oops, divided by, let's do that. Is that right or is that time? No, that's right. My goodness. 7, that equals 42.86. So about 42.86. So you could say 43, and I did a plus sign. I don't know why I did a plus. I did 43 total closings, guys. 7-to-1 ratio. If you are reaching out and doing your contacts each day, this is the truth in the numbers. That's 42.86, basically 43 closings per year. Pretty simple math. 43 closings per year. Okay, so if we use, let's do this. 43 times 10. That's $430,000 if it's a $10,000 average sales price. $430,000 of gross commission per year you're going to get paid. Gross. Truth in the numbers. Do you know your numbers? Have you figured out your numbers, Billy? By next week, I'm going to ask you that question in our coaching call. You better figure out those numbers, man. I want to hear your numbers. Know your numbers. We got to get this figured out. We got to have it nailed down in order for you to be able to know if you're winning the game or you're losing the game. And it's new in the year right now. It's time to get those goals set. Not time, it's past. It's about 4 months past getting your goals set on how much you want to make per year. There's no secret sauce to it. There's nothing. It is a numbers game 100%. How many touches are you doing per day? If you can't get this down, we got problems. How many touches are you doing per day, and how does that average out to an hourly rate? How does that average out? So say it takes me 300 SOI touches a year. Everybody I'm going to call or text, or maybe and text twice a year. And that's it. That's every 6 months. In my CRM, I'm going to call them. I'm going to leave a note on what that conversation was about. I'm going to set an alert of when to call them again in my CRM so that my CRM alerts me and tells me it's time to call Joe Silva today. Okay, last call showed I did this. Okay. I'm going to go ahead and shoot him a text and say, hey, just checking in. You need any contractors or anything? Don't forget, I'm the key holder. I'm the main guy. I'm the gatekeeper. I hold the key to the gate that opens the gate to all these vendors. By the way, here's my vendor list for you. If you need anybody on your home or anything like that, just know I'm here to help. A simple service, I'm giving them something, a little nugget for free that could be worth a lot of money for them because they've been thinking about getting those dang windows installed. And I just gave them an awesome couple, 5 or 6 contractors to install the windows. They wouldn't have done that if you didn't choose to call them. They would not have called you. They would have Googled it. They shouldn't be Googling it. They should be Googling you. You should be the one they call to get that contractor because they trust you, because you're the gatekeeper. You're the one that sold them the house, or you're the one that's going to sell them the next house, or whatever. They need to be knowing that you have the key to do that stuff, that you're the one that has the list. But if you don't call them and check in, you won't know. So only 2 calls per year. Okay, so for every day I'm spinning, the numbers are the same, by the way. Every day I'm calling 5 to 10 to 20 people a day. I'm choosing my number and I'm breaking that number down to a 7-to-1 ratio. And this is how much money I'll make if I do that. And I'm going to make specifically somewhere. I used a basic number on open houses, only open houses, and that's $333 an hour. Your numbers are much higher than that. If you actually do the numbers and you stick to it, you're probably looking at about $2,000 an hour. $430,000 a year, divide that by all the way down to 8 hours a day of work, or maybe you're only spending 4 hours of lead generation a day. Figure that math out, guys. 4 hours of lead generation a day with $430,000. And that shows you how much time you're failing if you're not spending that much time doing this type of lead generation. Last week I gave you these buckets. This week I'm telling you, if you use the buckets, this is how much you're worth per hour. You are worth a lot per hour. That's an important thing to remember too. The last important item that you need to remember is that if you don't believe that you have what it takes to do this, you don't believe your numbers, that's the mindset side of things. You got to believe that you have the time to do this. You got to believe it. You have the time to get this done. If you don't, you're only failing yourself. If you have a family, you might be failing your family. Hate to say it. All right. What else you guys got for me today? Anything else? That was my thing. I wanted to give you true numbers, numbers you can live by, numbers that'll help you.
Can I follow up with part of the calling is a big part of it is nurturing too. Setting appointments and nurturing. The one that I got yesterday was somebody who called me because I had been nurturing them and they remembered me. If you call one time and you feel like it's a really bad connection, I get it. If they hang up on you, fine. But if you have a connection with them, make an appointment. Don't try not to leave that call without setting an appointment for the following week. I always tell people, like, I'm gonna call you next week at this time, and I tell our agents all the time, have your calendar out, put it in your calendar, and write the notes. The guy who called me yesterday to list the house was somebody I had nurtured. So for a couple of weeks, the lady today that I just called is somebody I have nurtured. So it didn't stop on just one call. So sometimes if you feel like there's a connection there, don't just leave it at that. If they're kind of maybe on the fence, nurture it. You should be nurturing it and scheduling appointments.
So good. So good. Great follow-up, man. Love it. Anyone else? Fortune's in the follow-up. It's exactly what Billy's saying is that fortune is in that follow-up. If you're not following up, somebody else is going to. If you don't check in, someone else is going to. And then don't get mad when you see them buy a house on Facebook with somebody else because you didn't follow up. All right. Go get it. It's not coming to you.